Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we will be talking about ILR or Indefinite Leave to Remain in the UK. We will discuss the requirements, documents, costs and benefits of getting ILR. Before we get started, let me clarify that I am not an immigration advisor or an expert. If you need specific help, then please do your own research or seek help from the immigration office or the home office. So first, let's see what indefinite leave to remain or ILR even mean. So the indefinite leave to remain in the UK is basically a permanent residency or the equivalent of a US green card. It gives you the right to live in the UK permanently and you never ever have to then reapply for an extension or permission to live in the UK. It also gives you the ability to gain citizenship in the UK. So you can get access to a British passport provided you meet all the criteria requirements. Through the ILR, you can apply for any job or study in the UK. Let's start with the requirements for ILR. The main requirement is that you spent over 5 years in the UK on a Tier 2 General, Sportsperson or Minister of Religion visa. And in those 5 years, you have not spent more than 180 days outside of UK. If you do that, then the 5-year clock resets and you have to start all over. The main thing to keep in mind here is the visa type, as all Tier 2 visas are not eligible for ILR. Do your own research to confirm that your visa is eligible for ILR. Other than this, they will confirm that you've paid all your taxes and you've not committed any crime to make sure that you are a law-abiding citizen. Now let's look at the documents you need to apply for ILR. First, I'll give you a list of the documents and then I will give you an example for each one and I will also explain each one in detail. Also, please make sure to double check the required documents as they may differ for you. The required documents include evidence of immigration status, declaration documents to support the application form, copy of the most recent 1-month payslip and bank statement, a document from the sponsor of the Tier 2 visa saying that you are still required in your employment, meaning you are still required at your workplace, also explaining what is your current pay and that the pay aligns with the requirements of the job type that you're doing. And if in case you are on maternity or paternity leave, then the document should state your salary before going on the leave. Letter for English and education requirements, meeting the minimum requirement for ILR, current biometric permit, all previous passports and travel documents used to enter and remain in the UK. You need to pass the Life in the UK test. You don't need the certificate, but you must pass the test. And all these documents are uploaded to a third-party website. This means that you don't need to send any files to the government. All the documents will be sent online as soft copies through a third party. For the evidence of immigration status, you have to provide any document that proves that your visa is valid. You can provide the original visa application or any other document to confirm that your visa is official and it is valid. The declaration documents are just a few documents that you can get from the government website. The documents will ask for your permission to perform checks on the information that you have provided. If you have any joint document with your spouse, for example, if you have a joint bank account, then you have to get your partner to sign the document as well, declaring that the government can perform checks to validate the information. If you don't have a partner, then you only need to submit your part. They also need a declaration from you that the information provided is valid and that the government can check their validity. For the payslip and the bank statement, just make sure that the payslip is the latest one with your full salary unless you are on reduced salary due to furlough, paternity leave or any other reason. Your bank statement should be printed and dated within 30 days of the appointment. For the employment letter, you need a letter from your employer that states your role, your salary, your leaves, etc. The most important bit is that your salary must be above the minimum requirements of the UK Border Agency. Also make sure that you get this letter printed and signed within 30 days of the appointment. You also need your SOC code, so make sure to keep it in mind. As a part of your employment letter, you need to enlist all business related travel. So if your job requires travel, then you have to enlist every trip and tour with all the details like the duration, the country, etc. For the English and education certificate, you need to provide a valid certificate from National Academic Recognition Information Center. This certificate is proof of your education and your English skills. The certificate is required to make sure that you meet the academic requirements and that you have good enough English to be able to live and work in the UK. Now let's talk about the costs or fees that you need to pay for the ILR application. The ILR is not at all cheap. It costs £2,389 and this is just for the application form. When you're about to book your appointment, you are given two options. You can either choose the standard process which takes 6 months to complete, or you can choose the priority process which takes 2 weeks to complete. The biggest problem with the standard process is that within those 6 months you cannot leave the country. So if you have a job that requires frequent travel, then it is not feasible for you. The priority process costs an extra £800. That brings the total to £3,238 and this is still not including other admin costs. Now let's look at the benefits of ILR and why should you even bother applying. The biggest one is that you have the right to remain in the UK permanently and you don't need to reapply for your visa. Other than that, you also get the ability to work any job you want or study in the UK if you want. You will also get the ability to apply for British citizenship and with that you get a British passport. With citizenship, you get all the basic rights of being a citizen of the UK. You can also collect state benefits like state pensions, unemployment benefits, childcare costs, etc. Also, banks and credit agencies view you more favorably, so getting credit becomes easier. Lastly, I'm going to give you 4 tips that will help you in your ILR process. The first one is to prepare early or at least start the preparation as early as possible. This is because getting all the documentation together takes a lot of time and you also need time to study for the Life in the UK test and to pass the test. So you should start your preparation as early as you can. The second one is that you should submit all the relevant documents to support your ILR application as more is better in this case. It is not as simple as just what they are asking for and you should provide as much proof as you can to increase your chances of getting ILR. The third one is the time for uploading the documents, as you might think uploading the documents is not going to take much time. But scanning and uploading the documents takes a lot of time, so make sure to do it well before your appointment. This is recommended because oftentimes the requirements are not clear and you don't want to try finding the right documents the night before the appointment. Also, the portal has some very specific size requirements and if the size is too large or too small, it will not be accepted. So make sure to get the documents uploaded and confirmed well in time. And the last tip is to take your document papers with you for the appointment. As I said earlier, all the documents need to be uploaded as a soft copy. But you should take every single one of them with you on the day of the appointment because the documents that you uploaded can have issues with the quality of the scan or any other problem. By taking the physical copies of the documents, you can avoid any unexpected problems with the documentation. And that's it. That is the whole process for getting ILR in the UK. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did, then make sure to give it a like and also subscribe for more videos like this one. Thanks for watching and see you soon.